Hi, you guys. You are probably watching this video if you just finished an essential oil study, which is super exciting, or you're watching this video because you were on the class that we had originally, but my computer failed on us. It crashed in the middle of the meeting. So if you were not able to get all of this information the first time, or you weren't able to make the meeting the first, here we are. So I'm going to share all the information that we would have in a class, whether we were in person or even just we were all there live together. For those of you who are finishing this study, I really hope that you enjoyed your time and have learned a lot just in using your essential oils. You will be receiving, if you have not already, a post-study survey. And it's really, really helpful for me and some of the other people who have done this study to really understand and, yeah, just really understand what oils worked well for you and then what ones didn't. Some of you will continue to try some oils until we find something that really does work for you. Because like we've said many times, each oil works differently for different people. And so it's really important that we find something that you really enjoy and actually works for you. So make sure you guys fill that out for me. Honestly, it would be really, really helpful. I'm going to share my screen here in just a moment. And we're basically in this one, we are just going to kind of briefly go over again what we learned in the first one, the 3 cool things about essential oils, the 3 ways to use them. And I'll briefly go over that. And then again, if we were in person, then we would be able to share testimonies of how the study went for us. But because of technology, I will share with you just a couple testimonies of my own. And then also I will show you some testimonies of other people who have used oils as well, especially on their kids, because those are the ones that I keep finding. Everybody loves sharing about their kids. And so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then I can show you how to do it. The other thing we'll talk about too briefly is if you are ready to get some of these essential oils in your home because they worked really well for you, I'll talk to you about how you can do that. So let's share the screen. Okay. And here we go. Okay, so right here we talked about in the last class the 3 cool things about essential oils. One being that they are safe. These oils are by far the safest essential oils that you could honestly ever get. There are so many different added chemicals and everything else that are added into other essential oils, especially the ones that you can buy in the stores, because there's 0 regulation of essential oils. So it's super important, and why doTERRA is very transparent with our essential oils, and you can literally see the tests that are done on these oils so that you know that these oils are safe, they're effective, and they'll do what you need them to do every time. That's where this little CPTG trademark, it's not really a trademark actually, stamp of approval comes from, okay? And right here, the second way or second cool thing about essential oils is that they are effective. Because they are actually oil-based, they can actually go through our cell membranes much, much, much more easily than a lot of other modern healthcare therapies. And because they are also so small and made by plants, our body really does understand what to do with them and how it can use it in the cell to bring about the health that we are wanting it to. And so that's the second cool thing about essential oils, is that they're super, super effective. The third cool thing about essential oils is they are affordable. I didn't say this the last time, but it's cool that it's on this thing. But $6.5 trillion a year is spent in global healthcare. That is just so much money. but especially when we go proactively at our healthcare, it can save us so much money. And essential oils are truly pennies per dose, and they last a long time for you, and they're super, super effective. And so that is the third cool thing about essential oils, that they are affordable. Now, the three ways to use essential oils are: one, aromatically. And we talked a lot about how aromatic usage of essential oils can be super helpful, one for the lungs, but also specifically for our emotions. I gave the example of how whenever we go in for surgery, sometimes they put a mask on our face, right? And we inhale a synthetic chemical that actually goes straight to our or into this little nerve right here, then straight to our brain, that elicits a response in our entire body to fall asleep and stay asleep. So these essential oils are just natural versions of some of those things, and it can elicit a lot of really helpful thinking processes and emotions when we're dealing with different things. So that is why diffusing and then even just breathing in essential oils is super, super helpful. The second way we use essential oils is topically, and that a lot of times is going to target certain areas that you are going for. So a lot of times, like if your stomach hurts, you're going to put some oils on your stomach or take it internally, which we'll talk about next. Or like, for instance, with this Deep Blue and some of the pain that people in our study experienced and used some oils for, they would just put it on that part of their body. And then the third way we use essential oils is internally. And I think I said this before, I don't fully remember, but these oils are not only safe to take internally, they are actually recommended. So I've heard a lot of people say, especially in this study, how lemon essential oil really, really like made them feel like they were being cleansed, and it was really, really nice to take internally. So that's just a simple example, but you can take these either in your water by putting it in a glass of water, or if you drink out of a stainless steel, or in veggie capsules, and then also underneath your tongue. We didn't talk as much about that, but whenever everyone has their own oils and we talk them through together, I'll explain a little bit more when you would use that under your tongue. So those are the three cool things about essential oils, and then the three ways we use them. The next little part here is the ways that you can get the oils in your home. Before we go into that, I actually want to share a couple testimonies. So I'm gonna share switch over here. Oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. Right here. And we'll go over some testimonies, then we'll go back there. And then you guys can either go or stay for the joy of essential oils. So I will just present it. So this right here, we have a little Facebook group for a lot of people who use our essential oils. And it's super helpful when you can find, you know, when things pop up, you're like, oh my gosh, what do I use for this? This is really helpful. But right here, a little mama was noticing some eczema on her daughter's skin. And a lot of, I mean, she used not only some oils like Yarrow Palm topically, but she also used some of the supplements that we have in doTERRA specifically also for kids. So she really targeted her gut because eczema comes, the root of eczema is in the gut. So anyways, she talks right here, you know, she switched some food that she was eating. They used PB Assist, which is a probiotic from doTERRA, and then some enzymes, and then they were blown away also by the use of Yarrow Palm topically. So it's really cool. You can see some pictures here, and as it went away, which is really, really empowering when you have those tools as a mama. This here is another friend of mine who, right after she actually got her oils, her little son got like attacked by fire ants. And she was like, oh my goodness, what do I do? And she put lavender, tea tree, melaleuca is the same thing as tea tree, and frankincense on her little boy, diluted. And these are some of the pictures of how quickly these oils react or like helped her son. And so they didn't get super, super itchy for him or like burn him for like the rest of the night, she told me. So anyways, this is pretty impressive. She says you can see like even that's how it started and then it kind of blistered. She didn't see right here, she says for comparison, there are a few on his hand that I didn't know were there and didn't get treated with oils. So super, super powerful. This one right here, it's a little bit lengthy, so I'll kind of just go over it. You guys can read it for yourself if you want to. But this is kind of on the emotional side of things. And this mom has a 7th grader who struggles a ton with anxiety and is kind of a worrier. And she used our new adaptive line, which is really essentially helping adapt with the stresses of life. There is an oil for it and then also a supplement. And her daughter normally gets super, super anxious before tests and can't sleep super well. And so she took it for the first time the night before a test. And she said that she was amazed with how she slept. And what does it say here? She said that the night before a test, yeah, she got knots in her stomach and feels sick. And for the first time that didn't happen for her, which is super, super cool. And then she used it again another time when she was overwhelmed with some of the schoolwork that she had. And her mom says she was like a completely different kid after she used the adaptive and was able to get her homework done, do all the things. So they're super thankful. And this just kind of speaks to how quickly sometimes essential oils can really, really work for our emotions. And then this one right here is another mom who, actually Kristen, she's one of my friends. She is who helped me get started actually in doTERRA. And I'll just read this one, it's kind of quick. She said her son woke up crying in the middle of the night. And she was like, he wasn't really awake. I remember her telling the story to me as well. So she figured out that he was having a night terror. And so her husband and her grabbed an oil, one called Balance, which is actually one of my favorite oils. And they put it on his back and kind of helped him kind of breathe it in a little bit. And she said almost instantly, well, she says no joke, he instantly stopped crying and laid back down and fell asleep. So it's just so impressive how quickly some of these oils can work. And really quick, I'll stop sharing my screen just to share a couple things that have really been impactful for me in essential oils. I actually, when I was in high school, had an eating disorder, so it just really wreaked havoc on my gut. And so from that, when I went to college, and of course it's college, my hormones, again, because my gut was so messed up, also were messed up. And then I gained a lot of weight in college. There was just a lot of sluggishness and a lot of things. I've been in natural health and been interested in natural health for a long time, even while I was in high school. So I'd taken all the herbs, all of the things, tried, I don't know, so many different things naturally to kind of fix some of the stuff that was going on. And now some things did help at least a little bit, but it wasn't until I actually got essential oils and actually used our Lifelong Vitality Pack, which again, if you hang around me long enough, then you will always hear about Lifelong Vitality Pack because it's incredible, but it's basically the supplements in doTERRA. And anyways, essential oils have truly changed my life. My hormones are actually normal. My gut is normal again, and I was able to lose like, I don't know, 20 plus pounds just by using essential oils and taking care of my body and feeling empowered and just daily occurrences that happen and not having to reach for synthetic things. And so essential oils have dramatically changed my life. My husband also uses essential oils on a regular basis. We use them, he's used them a lot for some asthma, and he doesn't really have to use his inhaler anymore. We use them for honestly everything, emotionally as well. Anxiety can run kind of big for us sometimes. And so the only thing that we've really found to be super helpful consistently have been our essential oils. And I cannot speak highly enough of them. Obviously, this is why I do what I do. But anyways, I just wanted to share how powerful sometimes these essential oils can be. And when we really take the time, like we did in this study, to really try and figure out what oils work well for us and which ones don't, it can be so empowering to have a real natural solution that works. It really, really works. So I'm really quickly going to share my screen one more time. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more on how you can get your oils. I'll reach out to every one of you individually and we'll find out what works best for you, because some of you will also continue trying some essential oils. And then after that, because I don't know who's really, because we don't have people on the class, I'm actually just going to go over the joy of sharing essential oils. That's not something everybody likes to stay for, generally because there's about 3 kinds of people that come to these classes. And that's going to be somebody, I'll just explain them. Generally, the first kind of person is somebody who's just really excited about using their natural products and just creating a natural home through essential oils. And then the second person is somebody who's sitting here and they're like, oh my gosh, my aunt needs to know about this. My friend down the street needs this for her kids. These things kind of just start going. That kind of shows that you're a natural sharer. And a lot of times natural sharers really like to be able to get their product paid for. And so that is kind of the second way that we support people in doTERRA, is through helping you help other people so that you get your natural products paid for. We call it free natural healthcare. And then the third kind of person sometimes sits here and they're like, oh my goodness, I love what she teaches. I would love to be able to teach this on a regular basis. And you're somebody who wants to kind of build a business out of this. And for those kinds of people, that's what we'll talk about next in the joy of us sharing essential oils, the last 2 people. So with that said, I'd like to show you how you can get your essential oils. So I'm going to share the screen again. We're going to exit out of this. So the 3 ways to purchase doTERRA oils. First is retail, and I don't really spend much time on that because I don't ever have anybody buy retail because it is the most expensive, and I also don't like upcharging my friends. If you were in like a chiropractic office or something along those lines, that's when you would probably buy retail, but that is not generally how we do it. The 2 most popular ways right here are going to be your wholesale and then buying below wholesale. So wholesale is just like a Costco membership where you just pay a $35 membership fee and then you get everything 25% off, and which is basically what anybody gets in doTERRA. And there's no like minimums that you have to hit or certain products that you have to buy. It's just buy as you need. As is everything else in doTERRA as well. But with that said, year comes around and you're still using your essential oils, you'll just pay $25 and get a bottle of peppermint. So essentially, to keep getting oils at the cheapest price, you just buy a bottle of peppermint every year. And then this third way is actually how I get essential oils, and how a lot of people do as well. And this is buying below wholesale. And I'll explain how you continue to do this after you have your wholesale account. But essentially the way that you guys would start doing it is by getting a starter kit, because it waives that $35 fee and then you get a savings on top of that wholesale price, okay? And so it's the cheapest way to buy, honestly, and honestly the best, because you actually get a lot of a couple things depending on what you want and what you need. in your home to actually start using. All the kits that everybody gets is always going to be different, and I will always help you find what's going to be the best fit for you. So again, I'll reach out to you guys to find what's best for you. And also what I will say, when you buy 2 and 3, so wholesale and below, you get all of the education materials and opportunities that we have with our team. We do weekly education through continuing education. They're just classes, and especially right now, they're mostly online. And then also we have our Facebook group. We have oil camp, which you'll understand it gets there. Just a ton other things that we use to help educate you and support you. So that is all I have for you guys for the most part. If you are someone who just wants to live the wellness lifestyle, kind of like we talked about right here, the 3 kinds of people, then you can hop off now. I'm going to continue in case we have a couple people who are thinking, oh, sharing or building might be something that they're interested in. And again, no pressure, no nothing at all. About 80 to 90% of people are right here. I just like to share for the few that want to know. So if that's you, go ahead and hop off. If you want to continue to learn about the joy of sharing essential oils, then we will move on right here. So here we go. So like I said, we use our oils, we share the oils, and then we teach others. That's essentially what I do. So really quickly, I guess I didn't put it in here, so I'll stop right here. I always like to start this little section off by giving almost like a little parable or a metaphor, but it's also kind of true. So there's a man, we hear this all the time in doTERRA. There's a man in a village, and his job daily was to haul buckets from where the water source is for this village and haul them to this village every single day. And he got paid off of every single bucket that he hauled to that village. So if he wanted to make a little bit of extra money, then he just would have to spend more time at work, basically, and hauling more buckets to his village. And it would kind of cut into some family time. It would cut into some of the other things that he wanted to do. And so one day he got an idea to start building a pipeline. And some people kind of thought he was a little bit crazy, because in his off time, he would start building this pipeline. And some people were like, why aren't you actually spending more time with your kids like you say you want to? Or, you know, this is so much work. Like, what are you doing? And he just kept building it and building it because he had this dream. He was like, oh my gosh, if I can build a pipeline and just keep it going, then I will constantly be paid, right? So it was like one day he turned the spigot on, and there was a constant flow of water that was getting to this village. And he was so excited because all of a sudden he had freedom. He was there to kind of fix the pipeline when it needed to be fixed, but he also had freedom to spend more time with his family like he wanted to, or do the activities that he wanted to. And so we really love that metaphor in doTERRA, because that is what we do. We focus on building a pipeline instead of hauling buckets. And the reason that I have chosen doTERRA to build a pipeline, and honestly why I wouldn't choose any other company, is one, because of their essential oils. I already mentioned they have changed my life. And I honestly can't help but sharing most of the time. I just love them that much. And I really do believe. They are the biggest essential oil company in the world. It says right here 5 million, but it's actually, I think, closer to 8 now. So this is a little bit outdated. And their growth is actually very similar to Apple's growth. So you can see right here that they grew just almost nearly as fast as Apple. And then our one other cool thing I really love about doTERRA is our retention rate. So 65%, I think it actually might be 67 or something like that now, but that is our retention rate, which means that if someone buys doTERRA, generally within a 3-month period, they will buy again, which is honestly, if you know this business or this industry, that is pretty groundbreaking. Most people or most businesses in this industry, their retention rate is anywhere from like 12 to 25%. And so this is really, really big, and actually how we build a pipeline. And the other thing that I will say is I love the authenticity of this company. We kind of already talked about it a little bit, but we don't lead generally with this. We obviously want to share it because it's blessed us so much, but it's really about sharing a wellness lifestyle and helping people by just sharing the tools that we've been able to use in our homes. The other thing is they are super, super caring. They have a nonprofit side, and their model called co-impact sourcing is how we get our oils to be the most potent, actually serves people all around the world. I like to get like, my frankincense and be like, oh my gosh, this actually provided a decent job for a woman in Nepal, for example. So that's just a little taste of that. If that's something that you're super interested in, I would love to be able to share that more with you. So just to give like a little bit of a background, these are kind of just like averages of what we tend to see. If you're thinking right now like, hey, I would love to be able to have these products, but then also have them paid for, this is probably where you're kind of looking in some of these ranks, and it kind of shows a little bit of the average time to kind of reach those at the bottom, and then the average pay that you see at those ranks. So this is somebody who probably wants to pay for their product. And then somebody who is looking to supplement their product or supplement their income is probably going to be looking around here. Sorry, I'm moving my thing around so you can see. And again, it kind of gives you a little bit of a idea on what it would take to do that. But this is, again, just the averages. So these different ranks are what you'd be looking at if that's something that you would like to do. This third one right here is replacing your income. And again, these are also just averages. And so this is honestly just the possibilities that you have in doTERRA. I don't think that this is really the space to spend a whole lot of time talking about how you can do those things. But this just gives you a little bit of a brief overview of what that would look like. So that is really all I have for you guys on that. Really quickly, I would love to, again, share some testimonies. It's getting a little dark, sorry about that. But I want to share why I do what I do and how I've seen the business impact our lives. Honestly, this business has taught me so much. There's been so much personal growth that I've seen in it too, but especially in a time like we're seeing now, it has been so helpful to have a diversified income. So it's something that we can kind of count on because, one, we're in a health thing, and it's really helpful, especially in this time. People are really, really seeking how they can really support themselves and be healthy all around. And so anyways, that's been super helpful for us just to have at least a portion of our income that is very, very consistent when a lot of the world hasn't been consistent. And that I would say has probably been the biggest impact that we have seen with this business. It's been super, super helpful in that way. I also love to share some of my other friends' testimonies in this business. Actually, my friend who helped me get started, she and her husband both do this full time. And what's really cool for them is her husband got diagnosed with Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune condition. they were actually told that, you know, he had to have his thyroid removed and he'd be on medication for life. But they actually refused to believe that. And used a lot of, again, natural medicine. They used a lot of other things besides essential oils, but a ton of essential oils. Um, but also his wife, Kristen, knew that stress was one of the biggest causes for this disease. And so together, they really worked hard to be able to get to a place where he could quit his job. And she was able to bring him home to rest and recover. And actually, by doing that and continuing to take care of their bodies, he is now in remission with Graves' disease, which is super, super powerful, and super inspiring to me, honestly. I also have another friend who started this business because her son has some special needs, and really wanted to put him in a specific school, but it's super, super expensive. And so they actually she worked really hard again, for just a amount of time that she could, was able to get to a place in doTERRA where she could send her son, and pay for this school, for him to be able to get the best education that he wanted. I also know so many other people, who have done this business and been able to give radically like they wanted to, reach their dreams of traveling. So anyways, I just give that to you just as a little bit of an inspiration. I love what I do and I love sharing what I do, and this business has truly been such a blessing to us, just as much as the oils have been. So if you were someone who wanted to, who did stay and listen to the rest of this, the joy of sharing essential oils, contact me. I would love to just talk you through a couple things. If you have questions, we'd love to talk through. I also love doing calls, with my friend Kristen, who I talked about in doTERRA. We just love to be able to help you understand what you really want and what it would take to get to what you want. So if that's you, please, please, please let me know. I will still reach out to everyone, just to make sure they're all taken care of. If there's more oils or that you need to try, or more oils that you want to get in your home. So that is all I have for you guys tonight. I hope that you have a great rest of your day or evening whenever you are watching this, and we will talk soon. I'll talk to you later.